It's Madden NFL 22 on EA Sports, and today's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Lions and the Ravens coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL on this fine afternoon brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland, and M&T Bank Stadium. There's a scene a short time ago the Ravens introduced to this sellout crowd, and through a sea of pyrotechnics, out they came from the tunnel. Where set to go as the Ravens get ready to match up with the Detroit Lions. Brandon Gaudin alongside the one and only Charles Davis. And CD, lots of compelling storylines in a game like this. Let's take a look at some of the numbers for these two offenses.
And I'm glad you brought up the numbers, because sometimes it's hard to quantify a team's performance solely by judging the numbers. But I think with these two teams, what you see is a pretty accurate representation of who they are. Set to boom this one away. And off we go from M&T Bank Stadium. Here comes Khalif Raymond from his end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They're led onto the field by the former Cal Bear and the #1 overall pick in 2016, Jared Goff. And at one point, the ascension of Jared Goff was really, really strong. Back-to-back Pro Bowls, took his team to the Super Bowl, and came really within one quarter of winning it. But since that time, he's had bouts of inconsistency, and that's been the struggle for him as he tries to get back to the form he showed earlier in his career. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. They'll fake the give. Now Goff. And that's to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Goff. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. 3 yards to gain there, 2nd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly. And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7 as that one officially a loss of 1. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage. Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it? Absolutely. They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
So now it's 3rd and 7, and defensively, it's a dime look, 6 DBs. Goff now looking to throw. And he wants Reynolds way downfield. And that will be incomplete. They weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
Jack Fox out to punt here on 4th down. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Number 8, Lamar Jackson, trotting onto the field at quarterback, ready to lead this Ravens offense.
Early part of his career, defenses really had to focus on his running ability, and they still do. But now, he's turned himself into a true dual-threat quarterback. When he plants his cleats in the ground and turns it loose, good things happen downfield.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at the 20. Throwing to start the drive. Jackson. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. I ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I'd missed him, it would have been a long night.
Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Working with 2nd and 5 now. Play action. It's Jackson. Man open left side is Brown. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, every now and then we have to let a cliche fly, partner. And in this case, what do they say in the NFL? Your best ability is often your availability. This is an extremely durable kid coming out of Ohio State. Carried the ball every time they even thought about running it. Wore down defenses and able to break big runs late in games. J.K. Dobbins going to Baltimore, an absolute perfect fit.
Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Vision and speed, 2 of the attributes that you might say are important for a free safety, and we saw both in evidence there.
And I do believe that sometimes as a defender, when you see read option, you're just making an educated guess because the offense feels like no matter what move you make, it turns out right for them. Sometimes it can burn you making that guess, but I think here, he said, I'm pursuing the quarterback no matter what he does, and this time, he picked the right option.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. And he's got his man, Marquise Brown. And he will have a Ravens 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing the 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sidelines thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Baltimore. It's the Ravens in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Now a handoff for Dobbins. Michael Brockers in on the stop. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Here's a give to Dobbins. And he'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 14-yard line. Jackson to Boyle here over the middle. And down he goes, but the stiff arm utilized effectively there. And it helps him move the sticks.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
So 1st and goal now from the 7-yard line. They'll run with Dobbins. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Dobbins going to take the handoff on the option. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal. Throwing is Jackson. Escaping the pressure right. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down. Well, sometimes it's hard to take your eyes off this guy at the linebacker position. He can really cover some ground, and he did there to make that play.
And you can just see that whole play developing. That's where, as a defender, you just lock in on your target and say, I'm not even thinking about breaking stride. I'm running straight for the belt buckle, because where it goes, that's where you find his body, and he was able to get in there and make a great play.
So Jackson will head to the Ravens sideline, and on comes Justin Tucker for the field goal try. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And Tucker's kick right there, it's good. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move. Tucker now following the made field goal,
set to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Back onto the field come the Lions for their second overall drive. This one a little slow to get cooking. Just a 3-0 scoreline as they begin with a 1st and 10. Open man is Quintez Cephas. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing, and I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Second quarter, 2 minutes remain, 3-0 our score. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. They bring him in off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6. Their first sack of the game, it doesn't come from a usual suspect, not somebody up front, but Charles, a defensive back getting in there.
And I can tell you from experience, he's beyond excited to make that play because you're exactly right. Is it normal to call his number to run at the quarterback like that? Usually you're defending the pass, but he takes full advantage and dumps it to the turf.
So now following the sack, often the Lions needing to come up with something here on 3rd and long. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Jack Fox now as he'll kick it away for the second time. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Baltimore set to take over here for their second possession of the game. There was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Now Jackson on first down. Eluding the pressure right. First down and more for Jackson as they finally wrangle him in at the 48.
On that play, as you saw the route start to develop downfield, I got the sense that maybe the run would set up for him, and he took full advantage of it and got a big gain on a busted play.
The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Here's Jackson. He'll check this down to Dobbins out of the backfield. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
so many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. As long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. From the gun, it's Jackson. And this is going to be hauled in by the tight end Andrews. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews as the first half is winding down. And the Ravens would extend their lead here just before halftime.
And that's certainly an important score right there because they gave themselves a 2-score cushion heading towards halftime. Now you got to force the other team out of their comfort zone, and it changes the way you approach the second half as well. How you want to do things on offense, and your defense feels much better too, having that lead.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead grows to 10-0. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive, and it's capped off by the Baltimore score. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. And the Lions going to go back on offense one final time in this first half. And they really won't have much time to work with, just 19 seconds showing on the clock. Seconds showing to play in the half as they come up here 1st and 10. And they'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Tavon Young in on the tackle. So we have reached halftime with our score 10-0 as we'll head down to Orlando. That's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First, though, a check of the next-gen stats in that first half for the Lions. And the rushing numbers should tell the story of why they trail at the half. They're still in single digits in yardage as a team through 2 quarters of play. That's not good. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, they too didn't do a whole lot in terms of rushing efficiency in that first half, as you can tell by the numbers there.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. Duvernay now going to bring it out. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, But I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
Second half starts with a run by Dobbins. And he'll be taken down here at about the 23-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Here's 2nd and 9. Another run here with Dobbins. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
On 3rd down, Jackson. They set up the screen for Dobbins. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon. And it looks like they're going to utilize him on the backfield any way they can. And that time, they pick up a first down. So now on defense, you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Play action. Now Jackson. And he's got his receiver. That's Sammy Watkins. And out across midfield down to the 45.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. From the gun, Jackson. And this is caught. It's Brown. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A big connection on that one. 30 yards.
I guess that answers the question of whether or not they're going to try to play conservative and protect this lead in the third quarter.
And I think this is something we're seeing more and more of in the NFL. Teams not playing to protect leads, teams playing to extend them.
So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got him in. That's Andrews. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
First down marker at the 5. It's 2nd and goal. A handoff running left is Dobbins. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. It makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
On 3rd and 1, Jackson. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
And this defense definitely in his head there on 3rd down, and he's pretty fortunate. They didn't call for grounding on this one. That was a good 10 feet over everyone's head.
So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This a fairly straightforward 22-yard short attempt. Tucker's kick is good. And that'll push the lead up to 13-0. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. Khalif Raymond now. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. Now their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. To throw is Goff. And this one taken in by Cephas.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Go off a handoff here to Swift. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Goff now looks to throw. Open man right side is St. Brown. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Now it's Goff. And this is going to be incomplete. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, when the second half comes, it's real easy to get discouraged. I wonder if you're going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. How do you break down his game so far? Just the 1 touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't. Not until you balance it with the error side. You know, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game. But that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team, because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. This big Trey Flowers getting in there that time for the sack. He was still looking through his progressions and going through his receiver options, and while he was doing that, the defense got to him quickly in the pocket.
And it was a great example of zone coverage, well executed, well coordinated. All the receivers were covered, and he couldn't evade the rush back in the pocket.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Jackson from the shotgun. He's got his man. It's Andrews. Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. It's the Ravens in control of the football. They've also got the lead as we get set for the 4th. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. To throw is Jackson. And that will be incomplete. Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Here's Sam Cook now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. So a change of possession here on the punt, and the Lions will take over. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And you're still in this game. I mean, yeah, you haven't scored. Offense obviously has struggled, but you're only 2 scores down, so all hope not lost.
Not at all, because we're talking about the NFL, and teams can score fast in this league. Quick strikes, you're right back in it. You're exactly right. Keeping hope alive.
Now a first down throw. Goff. Open man is Raymond. He's got it. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. 4th quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure they only get 1 more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You got the first one for the 2nd one to even matter.
On 2nd down, Swift. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
The Lions on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They stay on the ground this time. It's Williams. And this will wind up a Lions first down as he's got this up to about the 34-yard line. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on 2nd and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but they, as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Goff. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. Another incompletion with that one. He's just 7 of 14 throwing the football, 50%. Typically not going to get it done, is it?
And let's just make it simple, and that's exactly why they trail.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Goff. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe he didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Here's Goff. He's going to float this one deep right side. A fight for it, and this is caught. What a catch. A big play there for Detroit. When you think of guys that are built to be big-arm quarterbacks, Jared Goff, he fits that mold, and he showed it off right there.
Well, one way or the other, you knew they'd have to push the ball downfield on 3rd and long, but I'm not sure the defense was expecting to push it that far downfield. Their math didn't add up, but it certainly did for the offense.
So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Goff. And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete.
Too many zeros on the stat sheet thus far. No touchdown passes, no points for his team, but he remains undaunted. Still attempting to get his team on the scoreboard, firing the ball downfield.
2nd and 10. Goff throwing again. Right side, it's the tight end, Hockenson. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
So they need 6 yards here on 3rd down. They're 2 for 2 on 3rd down tries so far on this drive. Goff. And this will be broken up and incomplete. Now a penalty flag down, and they may be going backward here. That's on the tackle, Penei Sewell. And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Throwing again is Goff. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And this one is incomplete.
We've seen that the deep ball has been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it. Unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
They're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Desperation time for Goff on 4th. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Ravens are going to get the football back. So now with a 2-minute warning coming up fast, that puts a mammoth dent in their comeback hopes.
I like how you phrased it. It's a dent because there's still opportunity. They've got to get the ball back on defense, obviously twice. But guess what? This thing is not close to being over. They need to go ahead and play it out.
Not over. As you said, 2-score game still. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 26. He'll start with a handoff to Dobbins. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Trey Flowers there on the tackle. Seems pretty obvious defensively. A key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. They'll go again with Dobbins. It's a 1st down and more for Dobbins. And he'll take it to the 43-yard line. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop, 1:50 left in the football game. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Jackson going to give this one to Edwards. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. On the counter now, it's Dobbins. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
And this is an absolutely big 3rd down that's been set up here, partner, and there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Has to. You said big 3rd down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here. And the Lions going with an extra DB here on 3rd down. Jackson. And that is incomplete.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Here's Sam Cook now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. So here's Goff and the Lions. Down by 13. A little over 50 seconds remaining. They've yet to score all game long, but now they need to do so twice in short order to have a shot. On 1st and 10, Goff. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's 2nd and 10. Now Goff. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. The corner blitz gets there as he goes down for a loss of 7. But it was 2nd long, now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, that play was certainly a little bit different because on the previous play, he was sacked. This time, protection a lot better. Had time to survey the field and still couldn't find an open receiver.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. They go ahead and snap it. Goff. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. As time has run out on this football game. So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. And they did it in shutout fashion. Impressive. impressive.
Would it be too bland of a statement to say they didn't have the greatest day offensively? I mean,
did enough, though. Did enough. But, yeah, you're right.
Most games, it wouldn't have been enough. So they've got to go into the locker room and applaud their defensive mates and say, guys, you really carried us today. We'll try and get you back next time. But as for today, you guys are nails out there.